is Monday the 29th of February, and I shall be partaking in another double dram tonight, just to give myself a little bit of a catch up, and I'm actually away tomorrow, so I might not have the chance unless I have some time free in a hotel room, which I may well have, so I might take a couple of drams with me and maybe knock that on the head as well. So today is a very special day, because yesterday was also special. It was my daughter's 6th birthday, but now it's quite an important part for me in this challenge, because I thought that was my wife coming in. She's come downstairs. This particular one that I'm going to have now is number 37, which is 10% of the way through the challenge, and even just to get to this stage is impressive enough for me, to be honest, because my commitment to most things apart from my family is pretty limited. And when I've tried projects in the past in terms of doing things on a daily basis, or a blog or a podcast or things like that, I've lasted about 2 weeks and that's been about it. But this has really got me going, and obviously for charity as well, you know, I can't let the charity down, so that's really what's driving me on as well. You'll be finding a video coming up shortly where I'll be explaining just why it is that I'm doing this particular charity challenge, and why I'm trying to raise money for the Children's Heart Surgery Fund, because I have somebody kind of involved in my life, and more my daughter's life, that has needed their help and continues to, but we'll get to that in a bit. So anyway, number 37, 10%. So let's do one that's pretty special. So tonight we'll be doing another bourbon, and this one, it's a full bottle, so I need to go hoik, and it is this one. Now I'm hoping you can see the packaging, and it's the packaging, to be honest, that was the one that attracted me to it. This is called Angel's Envy, and hopefully you'll be able to see the angel's wings that are through the back of the bottle. It's one of those where it actually looks nicer, full, unopened, but it's as good, if not better, when it's opened and in the glass. So this one is, and I'm not sure if you could pick that bit up at the top, above where it says Angel's Envy, where it says from the cellars of Lincoln Henderson. Now Lincoln Henderson is was a master distiller who had worked on Woodford Reserve, which you may well have heard of, which is the bourbon in the sort of square flat bottle, and he'd also worked on Gentleman Jack and Jack Daniel's Single Barrel. So loads of experience, really knew what he was doing, and he basically set up Angel's Envy as a release, because he wanted to basically go off and do his own thing. Now what's unusual about this particular one is this is a Kentucky straight bourbon that's aged for about 4 to 6 years in new American oak casks, as you should do when you're making bourbon, and then it's finished off in port casks, or known as port pipes, but they're not actual pipes, they're port casks, port wine casks, that it's then finished off in that. So the spirit is then transferred from the American oak casks into port pipes or port casks for about 3 to 6 months. And what that will do, it will take some of the flavours from what the port that was previously in those casks. It will start to take the flavours of that port that remains in the wood and sort of bring it back into the whiskey itself. Now Lincoln died in September of 2013 at 75, and Angel's Envy was run by him, his son, and his grandson. And like I say, loads of experience, loads of history in the trade, and it was quite a big loss in the industry. Now, in March of last year, so March 2015, Bacardi purchased Angel's Envy in the business, and it was Bacardi's first move into bourbon and that bourbon market. But Angel's Envy I believe was launched in late 2010, very, very early 2011. I think it's more kind of back end of 2010 when the first releases started coming out. And it was already getting a fantastic reputation, not just because of Lincoln's name, but also the whiskey itself was phenomenal. Huge reviews, doing absolutely brilliantly in reviews around the world. So Bacardi had picked, if they're going to go into the market, you're going to pick one of the best ones to go into. And they've purchased the business. There is a new distillery and a visitor centre due to open in Louisville, in downtown Louisville, the centre of it. And I'll put a map up of where Louisville is now, if you've not already seen some of my previous bourbon ones. That's due to open this year, 2016. So it's, as a brand and as a product, it's really big. They've got, I believe, a rye whiskey, which might be finished in rum casks, and they do a cask strength version as well. So now, I've had this a number of times before, and I know I love it, but I've got to try and treat it independently and as subjectively as possible. So it is 43.3% ABV, and apparently the decision was taken as they were making it. Lincoln actually tried a number of different proofs, which is why it's really specific to 43.3. I think they were literally going 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. No, that's too much. 0.2, 0.1. No, it needs a little bit more. Right, 43.3. That is the one. So lovely and sweet on the nose. It's rich, but it's not the caramel. It's more of a kind of like maraschino cherries, that sort of feel to it, and I think that's the port influence that's coming in. I mean, there's a lovely colour to it as well. You know, it's not overly rich, and there's a slight, I'm not sure if you can pick it up, it's more in the bottle than the glass. There's a slight pinkiness to it, not obvious, but there is a the more you look at it, the more you kind of pick up this kind of slight purpley edge to it. It is silky smooth. It's absolutely beautiful. It's rich, it's smooth. That maraschino cherry is still there, even more so on the finish. There's a lovely sweet finish to it that just keeps on going. I can still taste it now, and it's like chocolate covered cherries, and yeah, there's kind of like plums and dates and everything, and that is purely the port casks. That's that port cask finish influence there. It is wonderful stuff. It's so nice. And I can imagine that at 40%, it's probably going to be slightly too low percentage, simply because you can probably lose what that 3.3 is doing is it's just giving it a little bit of oomph and a little bit of weight and a slight prickliness that's just supporting everything absolutely brilliantly. It's a wonderful whiskey. It's so good. This is, to me, near perfection for what I'm looking for in a bourbon personally, in terms of bags of flavour, richness, fruitiness, depth, easy to drink. You don't have to fight it. It supports you. Not like the Bookers and the Bakers that we had a couple of days ago, where it was fighting the whiskey, but the Basil Hayden was too subdued and too easy to drink. There wasn't a great deal there. This gets the balance absolutely perfectly. It's a beautiful bottle, and that was the reason that I picked it up. In fact, my wife bought it for me because she fell in love with the bottle, and she said, yeah, if you want that, I'll get you that. And fortunately, what's inside the bottle is better than the packaging, and quite often in whiskey, in the whiskey market, that doesn't often happen. It's phenomenally good. If you're looking to get into bourbon and you've never had bourbon before, I'd recommend that. If you drink bourbon and you drink a lot of bourbon, I'd recommend that. If you like spirits of any way, shape or form, if you like brandy, if you like sherry, anything, just buy that. It is incredible stuff. You're looking, well, it's about $45 in America, and I'm not sure whether you can get it in the UK. If you could, because of the market at the moment, you'd probably be looking at about 50-60 quid. But in all honesty, I really do think it's worth it. It's fantastic bourbon, so good. Right, that is excellent. Lovely way to finish the first 10%. So I shall wash everything out. I shall be doing another one tonight, which could be an interesting one, as you'll find out when you watch it. Yes, 10% down. We're getting there. It's a long way to go, but we are 10% down. Yes. I'll see you later.